This is DW News Africa. Coming up, a historic homecoming. In Ivory Coast, people celebrate the return of a sacred wooden drum looted by French colonial troops more than a century ago. Also coming up, tying the knot on a massive scale in Nigeria. This giant ceremony is marrying 1,500 couples. But is it really just about love, or is there a dose of politics?
The mood here is a festive one as the couples are officially presented to the public, marking the beginning of a union that they can't, however, get out of unless they get the approval of the government that sponsored the mass wedding.
I am Eddy, Micah Jr., and you are welcome to the program. Ivory Coast has seen the celebration of the century that's uniting the past with the present. Crowds gathered to welcome the return of this stolen relic, a sacred wooden drum that had been on display in Paris for decades. It's one of hundreds of looted artifacts that France is now returning to Africa, made possible by a new law. It was a moment marked by a military parade and ceremony ending in Adjamé, an ancestral village located in Abidjan, and the place where the so-called talking drum was made.
It was a homecoming that many feared would never happen. With festivities to match the joy of this historic return.
This is a moment of great relief. Many people dreamed of witnessing this day, but we are among the fortunate few able to see this chapter of history unfold. We experience this moment with gratitude and humility, remembering our ancestors who struggled and endured hardship after this instrument was taken away. Today it has finally returned home.
The Gigi Ayokwe, or talking drum, is sacred to the people here. At more than 3 meters long and weighing in at more than 400 kilograms, it was used by the Ivory tribe to send warning messages during French colonial rule. But more than a century ago, it was looted by French troops and later shipped to Europe. It's taken years of negotiations to get the drum back, and few wanted to miss its return.
We like it. We wanted to see the drum. We want to see the drum with our own eyes so we can truly believe it belongs to us. That's what we want to see.
The Ivorian president was among those here to witness the drum's homecoming on the country's Independence Day. A moment that marks the first restitution of a cultural artifact by France to Ivory Coast. And the return of an object that means so much to so many.
Now, I am honored to welcome Dudù Kouate, a Senegalese multi-instrumentalist. He's a conservator of African cultural and musical tradition, and he is here with his talking drum. Welcome, Dudù, to the program. Now, I'm fascinated about talking drums. I would need you to give me an example of how you can make your little drum here talk. Wait for it. Let's go. Okay, so just to be clear, what did the drum say right now?
The drum send greetings to people, because before playing a drum, there is also a presentation of himself and asking permission if he can talk.
Well, the drum has my permission to talk as much as he can throughout this discussion. So the Gigi Ayokwe, which is, right behind us, for those of us looking at it, this is what has returned to Côte d'Ivoire after more than 100 years of being in France. I mean, how special is it for the return of this drum?
It's very special for all Africans, not only the people from Bijan people or Ebri, who are the owner of these particular instruments. This kind of episode happens everywhere in Africa, especially in Occidental Africa, where people are waiting for centuries, pieces of their traditions taken away to be back. And this is for this population a way to reconnect again, because for 110 years they have been disconnected because of the lack of this peace that unites all these more than 30 ethnical groups who were turning around this peace.
Right. I mean, there are a lot of people that are wondering, it was all during colonialism, right? And people are wondering if the return of such a sacred object, in this case, this talking drum, is going to do anything to change what happened during colonialism. Why is it so deep and important?
Well, it's important to get back one of the pieces. There are many others waiting to return back to their owners, to the people, to restitute, and to become part of the life, the life of the community they belong to, because these artifacts are not meant to stay in a place for 100 years. They are part of the day-to-day life of the community that uses this ayokwe. Is a very sacred instrument which was played like once a year or in very special occasion, because it carries a lot of the memory of, the cultural memory of the population, the emotion, the thoughts, and all the culture of this population. Not having this item for so long, it was painful. Having them back, it doesn't mean that something is repaired. There is no reparation. Nothing can repair. No money can repair the damage of more than 5 centuries of stillness, no production, no life, no social life. The culture didn't continue, and nothing can repair that.
Right.
We need at least an apologize. Maybe it's very simple word, "Oh, I'm sorry," would be much more appreciated than trying to, because it means that we continue monetizing these things that has no financial value.
Right. So you think an apology would mean a lot. Why do you think there's been no apology yet?
I don't know, because of people are proud, When I suffer when someone will make me think that, I'll give you back your items, so I'm doing you a great favor. It's not a favor, it's just a restitution. And I'm thinking about also another type of restitution, which my personal idea, because now we are living in everywhere there is a diaspora with the second or third generation who wants to know also about the story of this artifact. I would love that museum give opportunity to people who want to get in touch with these items, because they need to be bring back alive. This item, the ayokwe, before being restored in a museum in France, it has to be, they made a ritual to free to free the drum from this spirit and to to ask the permission to the spirit which live inside the instrument to leave the mask, to leave the drum, and let the people restore it. And then after, now he's back, the spirit
is back.
The spirit is back.
That's some deep stuff. That's some real deep stuff. But look, as we can see, the ayokwe, that's a very huge drum, and clearly of a very significant importance. Your drum, very small one. Both are talking drums. What's the difference? Yeah, the difference is the way how we use it. Because this ayokwe was the first example of talking drum, what we can call talking drum or communication drum. It was a piece of wood curved inside with two tones to send message. The message are the reproduction of the human voice, the talking, the syllables, and the intonation of the voice. After, there is an evolution. People evolve, cultures evolve, and people find new materials, improve their style life, and that's the same way we improve. We have improved adding skin, animal skin, in a piece of wood to have a better sound, to have a better articulation of what we want to express. Right. And every drum in Africa can be used as a talking drum. Okay. Because rhythm for us is not just a music. Rhythm is a way to organize thoughts, memory, cultures, movement, and community. Before books or recording devices, music was the technology, rhythm was the technology of memory. Right. Breathing is rhythm, talking is rhythm, walking is rhythm, speaking has rhythm. And the rhythm, the rhyme we use, our language evolved to help us remember, to remember our story, you know. And this make rhythm and rhyme not only artistic decoration. It can be also some kind of cognitive tools. Yeah. Because it carries all the words. We can call people, we can warn people with the drum. When someone comes, very important personality, join the audience. Whatever rhythm people were playing, everyone stopped and we start playing. Okay. And this rhythm accompany him walking, like slow walking, still he sit down. Right. And they continue on there's just so many things that I want to know, and this should go on for hours. But I can tell you one thing for sure, I cannot play a drum, right? If I had to save my life, I couldn't play a drum. But you're saying basically that everyone can make a drum talk. I don't know if that's possible in my case. Like, for instance, if the camera is going to follow, if I did this, what do you get from that? Now, you made it sound much better, that's for sure. From your rhythm. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing this with us. And I think I've been inspired. You brought 2 drums. After, this show, I'm going to take one, maybe learn a few tricks from you. Yeah, we make a jam. Yeah, we'll make a jam. Maybe that, now I know, after journalism, what else I'm going to be doing with my career. Many thanks for joining us in the studio today. Thanks. Why is Nigeria's Kano holding a mass wedding? Around 1,500 couples got married in Nigeria's northwest Kano state at a ceremony organized by the governor. Officials say the initiative is aimed at supporting low-income families with the cost of marriage. But with national elections approaching next year, the event has also drawn attention for its political significance. DW West Africa correspondent Azizat Olaoluwa went there and sent this report.
This is not your usual crowd. It's 3,000 people getting married in Nigeria's northwest Kano state, and they haven't spent a dime. But money isn't the main motivation for Muhammad, who is beaming with joy as he marries Amina a widow, as his second wife. For him and his bride, it's a dream come true.
I
am so happy that today has finally come. Allah has made the wedding happen. I can't describe how glad I am right now. I love my bride, and she loves me too. She is a good person and a godly woman.
I thank Allah for showing me this day to marry the one I love. He's compassionate and a trustworthy person. I hope that God will also grant me the ability to obey Him and show Him abundant love and care.
The state-sponsored mass wedding is an initiative designed to help low-income families cover wedding costs, reduce immorality, and promote social stability. Each groom received around €64 to support dowry payments, while the brides got the same amount to start a trade. Since 2012, more than 7,000 couples have benefited from the marriage support program. This year's edition cost the government the equivalent of €1 million to cover medicals, counseling and marriage supplies, including wedding clothes for the couples. Although there are worries that some joined the wedding for the incentive, Mohammed says he is genuine.
I already had plans to marry a second wife, so if this mass wedding opportunity hadn't have occurred, I would still have done it. But it wouldn't have been now because I would have still needed time to prepare and save the necessary money.
While many commend the government for the initiative, some have questioned the spending, saying the people should be empowered instead. But that hasn't dampened the celebratory mood of the wedding. The two-day event kicked off on Friday inside the state's mosque, with only the grooms and other male worshippers allowed.
I am standing outside because as a woman I am not allowed in. Not even the brides can be present. That's part of the culture here in Kano that practices Sharia law.
The next day, it was all shades of color as the new couples filed out for their wedding reception hosted by the governor. With the presidential election campaign kicking off in a week, the event has clear political overtones. The caps worn by the grooms display the logo of President Bola Tinubu, who is seeking a re-election. But for many of the newlyweds, this is an unforgettable moment.
The support we will get from this wedding will serve as the foundation for building our lives, so we can provide for our families.
Thank you to the governor for organizing the wedding for us. May he richly be blessed for doing this.
This is a great opportunity for me because if the governor hadn't have helped with the expenses of the wedding, I don't know if I ever would have got married.
The mood here is a festive one as the couples are officially presented to the public, marking the beginning of a union that they can't, however, get out of unless they get the approval of the government that sponsored the mass wedding.
Watching over matters is the Kano State Hisbah Board, a religious police force charged with enforcing the observance of Sharia law.
We at the Hisbah board won't accept any calls for divorce. They must stay married and take responsibility for their union so that it will work. If there's a problem, they must come to us for mediation and reconciliation.
The highlight of the mass wedding was the distribution of furniture, mattresses and food items to the couples for them to start off their marital journey.
God made our wedding wish come true, and I thank the governor for sponsoring it. I hope that only death will separate us.
For Mohammed, his hope is that both his old and new marriages will last forever.
All right, let's now bring in Azizat Abiola Olaoluwa in Lagos. You saw her at the mass wedding in the report. And Uwais Idris is in Abuja. He schooled in Kano. Welcome, both of you, to the program. A bit jealous of you, Azizat. There were 1,500 couples getting married in a single ceremony. That's a lot of love on display. How was that like?
Absolutely, Eddie. It was a lot of love on display, and I was right there capturing every moment. It felt surreal for me to be there, seeing the smiles on the bride's face and the pride on the faces of most of the grooms as well. So it's something, you rarely see, seeing that much number of people coming together the same day to get married. So I felt really happy covering it for DW News.
Right, and we were happy you were there. Wait, I'm just wondering how common mass weddings like that are across northern Nigeria.
This is not common. It's very rare to see large number of people being wedded on the same day. It actually started during the political dispensation after Nigeria returned to democracy. It was started by Kano State in 2013 during a former governor who wedded about 700 number of girls and those who are qualified after a lot of screening. So we don't have it in any part of Nigeria. What we had was just small family wedding, not up to 10 people that are from the same family.
So why now you think that so many people were getting married?
Well, there are a lot of reasons. Number one, there is poverty because of the number of divorcees that you have in the society. In Islam, it is quite easy, I may say, but it's something which Allah dislikes most. It's easy to divorce because the marriage is so simple to get a wife. You pay a dowry, you get married tomorrow in the next 3 months. Then there is social issue as an intervention. The government see it as an intervention. And there is political undertone because most of these marriages are organized towards the election. Like this one, there were postponement about 3 times before they finally fix it, at a time when the situation, the political tension is already on, although campaign has not been started in Nigeria, but you can feel, you can see what is happening.
Right. Another situation where, some argue that politics and religion are connecting. I couldn't help, but notice, because, of course, you also mentioned it earlier to me, Aziza, that you couldn't even step inside the mosque to watch the men you'd come to cover get married. Explain to me why and how it made you feel.
Well, in Nigeria, the Nigerian society is simply patriarchal. But as a southern Nigerian woman going to the northern region, I'm not being allowed to do my work simply because of my gender. That made me feel very bad. And I did not see any woman around the premises of the mosque during the wedding ceremony because the grooms were inside with other friends signing the marriage documents. No one was allowed. And I had to ask why that was. And most of the people there told me it's cultural, that women are not expected to be there. So perhaps over the years, over the decades, they accepted that norm, that stance that women are not supposed to be, brides especially, are not even allowed to witness the solemnization of their own wedding.
Right. What also got my attention was the Hizbah board says that these couples won't be allowed to divorce without state approval. That sounds to me a lot like control. Is that something people widely accept?
Absolutely. The couples accepted it because their defense is that they are actually in love, and that is why they participated in the mass wedding. But from my findings, I discovered that some of the couples that participated in previous editions of the mass weddings are already divorced for different reasons. One is economic challenges. Some will understand that they divorced very early into the marriage because they were in it for the incentives in the first place. And some just said that they had irreconcilable differences. So going back into the pool of divorcees, one of the factors that the government wants to address with this program.
To be honest, there's so many more questions I want to ask you to really get to understand the situation on the ground. But it's been lovely talking to you guys to give us some sort of idea. Azizat Ola Olua in Lagos and Uwais Idris in Abuja. Thank you. And that's how we wrap it up. For more of our stories, go to dw.com/Africa or connect with us on social media. See you next time. And hey, if you're still wondering about that jam Dudù promised me, well, take a listen.